Welcome back to ChatterBox Podcast. If you tuned in last time, we took you through a visit to the hospital and pharmacy. Hopefully you won't need to use those phrases too often.
Yeah, but if you ever do, at least now you know how to explain your symptoms like a native and ask all the right questions at the pharmacy.
And before that, we tackled job interviews. So if you've been following along, you're now an expert at sounding natural in both professional and medical situations.
But today, we're switching things up. What if you're in the market for a new car? Whether you're buying your first vehicle, upgrading to something fancier, or even leasing, you need to know how to talk to a car dealer.
Exactly. Negotiating, asking about financing, and even understanding some of the jargon they use, it can be overwhelming.
That's why we're here. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what to say when buying a car. And as always, we'll repeat key phrases multiple times so they stick in your brain.
All right, let's hit the road. All right, picture this. You walk into a car dealership and a salesperson approaches you with a big smile. What's the first thing they say?
They'll probably start with, "Hi there, how can I help you today?" Or, "Are you looking for something specific?"
A great way to respond is, "I'm just browsing, thanks." If you're not ready to commit yet, let's repeat that. "I'm just browsing, thanks."
But if you already have a car in mind, you can say, "I'm looking for a reliable sedan, maybe a Toyota or Honda." Or, "I'm interested in an SUV with good gas mileage."
Let's repeat those. I'm looking for a reliable sedan, maybe a Toyota or Honda. And I'm interested in an SUV with good gas mileage.
Nice. Now, the salesperson might ask, "What's your budget?" Or, "Are you looking to finance or pay in cash?"
If you don't want to reveal your budget just yet, you can say, "I'm open to different options. Just exploring right now." Repeat, "I'm open to different options. Just exploring right now."
All right, so you found a car that looks interesting. The dealer might ask, "Would you like to take it for a test drive?"
A great way to respond is, "Yes, I'd love to." Or, "Sure, I'd like to get a feel for how it drives." Let's repeat, "Yes, I'd love to," and "Sure, I'd like to get a feel for how it drives."
During the test drive, you might want to ask about performance. You could say, "How does it handle on the highway?" Or, "Is the acceleration smooth?"
Great questions. Let's repeat them. How does it handle on the highway? And is the acceleration smooth?
You might also want to ask about safety features. Try, "Does this model have lane assist?" Or, "How does the braking system perform?"
Repeat after me. Does this model have lane assist? And how does the braking system perform?
All right, you've finished the test drive, and now it's time to talk about the price. This is where things get serious.
The salesperson might say, "This car is listed at $25,000, but we can work something out." Or, "We have financing options available if you're interested."
If you want to negotiate, you could say, "Is there any wiggle room on the price?" Or, "Can you do better than that?"
Let's repeat. Is there any wiggle room on the price? And can you do better than that?
If you're financing, you might ask, "What are the interest rates like?" Or, "How much would my monthly payment be?"
Good ones. Repeat. What are the interest rates like? And how much would my monthly payment be?
If you want to take your time deciding, you can say, "I'd like to sleep on it." Or, "I'll think it over and get back to you."
Repeat after me. I'd like to sleep on it. And I'll think it over and get back to you.
Closing the deal paperwork.
All right, John, so you've decided to buy the car. The dealer will probably say, "Let's go ahead and finalize the paperwork."
A good way to respond is, "Sounds good?" Or, "What's the next step?" Let's repeat, "Sounds good." And, "What's the next step?"
They might ask, "Do you have a trade-in vehicle?" That means, do you have an old car to exchange for a discount?
If you do, you can say, "Yes, I'd like to trade in my old car." If not, just say, "No, I don't have a trade-in."
Let's repeat. Yes, I'd like to trade in my old car. And no, I don't have a trade-in.
Native phrases recap.
All right, let's go over the key phrases one last time. Ready?
Repeat after us.
1. I'm just browsing, thanks.
Good job, Jessica.
All right, John, join me too. 2. I'm looking for a reliable sedan.
I'm looking for a reliable sedan.
3. What's your budget?
What's your budget?
4. Would you like to take it for a test drive?
Would you like to take it for a test drive?
5. How does it handle on the highway?
How does it handle on the highway?
6. Does this model have lane assist?
Does this model have lane assist?
7. Is there any wiggle room on the price?
Is there any wiggle room on the price?
8. Can you do better than that?
Can you do better than that?
9. What are the interest rates like?
What are the interest rates like?
10. I'd like to sleep on it.
I'd like to sleep on it.
11. Let's go ahead and finalize the paperwork.
Let's go ahead and finalize the paperwork.
12. Do you have a trade-in vehicle?
Do you have a trade-in vehicle?
Wow. Perfect, John. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
All right, John. Let's talk about another scenario.
Sure.
Imagine this. You step into a car dealership and bam, there's a salesperson heading right your way, all smiles and ready to start chatting.
Yep, they'll probably hit you with something like, "Hi there, how can I help you today?" Or even, "Are you looking for something specific?" It's like their opening move in chess.
Ha, totally. And here's the thing. You've got to be ready with a response that sounds, confident. You could say, "I'm just browsing. Thanks." Super casual, no pressure.
Or if you've already got a plan, you could go with, "I'm looking for a reliable sedan, maybe a Toyota or Honda." Or, "I'm interested in an SUV with good gas mileage."
Let's repeat those. You ready? I'm just browsing. Thanks. And then, I'm looking for a reliable sedan. One more. I'm interested in an SUV with good gas mileage.
Perfect. So, Jessica, I gotta ask, ever get totally tongue-tied at a dealership?
Oh my gosh, yes. The first time I went, I was, completely overwhelmed. I didn't even know what to say or where to start. The salesperson asked, "What's your budget?" And I just froze. It was like my brain went offline.
I hear that a lot. So here's a pro tip. If you don't want to dive into numbers right away, you can say, "I'm open to different options. Just exploring right now."
Right. And that phrase buys you time to, get your thoughts together without giving away too much up front.
Want to give it a try? Let's say it together. "I'm open to different options. Just exploring right now." There it is.
Okay, quick role play, John. You're the salesperson. I'm the overwhelmed customer. Ready?
Sure. All right. Clears throat. "Hi there. How can I help you today?"
I'm just browsing, thanks. Boom. First line nailed it. Confidence is everything, people.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. Plus, having these phrases in your back pocket, that alone can make you feel so much more prepared.
Seriously, if I had practiced just 1 or 2 of these before that first trip, it would have saved me so much stress. Live and learn, right?
Absolutely. And that's why we're here, to help you sound natural and confident even when you're dealing with the pros. Okay, ready to move on?
Yep. All right, so now that you've got your confidence up and you're ready to roll, let's say you've spotted the car of your dreams. You're at the dealership, and here comes the fun part, the test drive. What's the first thing you'd ask, John?
For me, I always start with the basics, like, how does it handle on the highway? That tells you a lot about the car's overall feel, especially if you do long drives. What about you?
Oh, totally. I'm all about the acceleration. I'd go with, is the acceleration smooth? I need to know if this car's going to give me that little thrill when I leave a stoplight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And if safety features are your thing, you could ask something like, does this model have lane assist? Or maybe, how does the braking system perform?
Okay, wait. Let's help the listeners practice. Say it with us. How does it handle on the highway? Got it? Awesome. Now, is the acceleration smooth? Boom. Nailed it.
Good stuff. And some folks might not even know these features are available. Jessica, remember when I mentioned teaching international students about this process?
Oh yeah, I love this story. A student once thought test drives were just for luxury cars, right?
Exactly. It's not as common in some countries, so the idea of trying out the car before buying was, kind of surprising. Once they understood how it works here, though, they felt a lot more confident walking into dealerships.
That's so interesting. Let's be real. If you're spending that kind of money, you should absolutely know how the car feels on the road.
Totally. Okay, let's bring this to life. Jessica, you're the salesperson now. I want to test drive this sleek sedan over there. What do you say?
All right. Clears throat. Well, this vehicle is known for its smooth ride and great mileage. Would you like to take it for a spin and see for yourself?
Sure. I'd like to get a feel for how it drives. Can we take it on the highway?
Of course. Let me grab the keys.
That was great. And honestly, keeping it conversational like this helps you sound totally at ease.
Right? And hey, listeners, it's important to not just ask about the bells and whistles, but also about what matters most to you. Make that test drive count.
Exactly. And remember, safety is just as important as performance. Trust me, understanding how those features work could make all the difference on the road.
All right, think you're ready to ace the test drive? Let's keep going. Great job on acing that test drive. Now that you've experienced how the car feels on the road, it's time to tackle the next step, the part that makes people sweat, talking about the price. Negotiating can feel intimidating, right?
Totally. But the key is to stay calm and confident. Like when the salesperson says, "This car is listed at $25,000, but we can work something out." You can start with, "Is there any wiggle room on the price?"
Oh, I love that phrase. Super casual, but it gets the point across. Or you could go a little bolder and say, "Can you do better than that?" Boom, dropping the mic.
Exactly. And if you're financing, you can ask questions like, "What are the interest rates like?" Or, "How much would my monthly payment be?" It shows you're serious, but also thoughtful.
Okay, John, let's give the listeners a quick mock negotiation. You're the dealer this time, and I'm going to really work that price. Ready?
You got it. Clears throat. All right, Jessica, this beautiful sedan is listed at $25,000, but I'm sure we can find a price that works for you.
Is there any wiggle room on the price? I was thinking something closer to like $22,000.
Okay, let me talk to my manager. Classic move, right?
Ha, always the manager. But hey, if you say it with confidence, they'll take you seriously. Listeners, practice saying, "Can you do better than that?" Trust me, it works wonders.
And here's another pro tip. Don't be afraid to walk away if you're not comfortable. A simple, "I'd like to sleep on it," gives you the space to think things over.
Right? Sometimes holding your ground can lead to better deals. Oh, and speaking of deals, John, didn't one of your students totally nail their first negotiation?
Yes. One of my students from Brazil, where haggling isn't as common, practiced the phrases we're talking about today. They walked into a dealership, asked, "Is there any wiggle room on the price?" and ended up saving over $2,000 on their car. And it was their first time negotiating in English.
Whoa, that's so inspiring. Like, listeners, if they can do it, so can you. Just takes a little practice and knowing what to say.
Exactly. Language is power, and when you combine it with confidence, you can really make things happen.
And remember to celebrate those wins, whether it's saving $2,000 or just not freezing when they ask, "What's your budget?"
Well said, Jessica. So, whether you're buying your first car or upgrading to something snazzier, the negotiation's all about the right words and tone.
Exactly. And hey, practice with a friend, even if it's just pretending to buy a blender. The confidence you build will help when you're sitting across from that dealer.
All right, listeners, that's it for today. We hope you're feeling ready to walk into that dealership and claim your next car like a total pro.
And don't forget to tell us about your car buying adventures. Seriously, we want to hear those success stories.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep practicing and keep growing. You've got this.
And on that note, we're out of here. See you next time, everyone.